This is Baruch Fleischman here. We're in Parshas Vayetze, and this is the morning Zohar with the words of the holy Rashbi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. We're learning this Torah here with the Matuk, the Zohar, Menukad, by the Matuk Midimash, Rabbi Daniel Frisch. Survived the Holocaust, devoted his life to the study of Zohar, lived a tremendous amount of his years in Maron, to be as close as possible to this, and he worked on this book. So let's come over here and let's see. This is just a little introduction. I'm going to try to bring this down lower so you can see it better. He says we're going to read this little Rashi print here. I haven't really reviewed it, not lately, and that's all we're going to learn is just this little blurb that he wants to bring to us as we're moving to the next parsha in a few days. So the days Erev Shabbos. So he says, Lo havin ma'amer hababah na'atik b'kitzer. So in order to understand what we're going into, I want to say in a short version, Masha Kosev Arizal. So we're back to the Ari, the holy Ari. And the Ari, actually, Rabbi Mimran has said this many times, and the Kabbalists all say this, he came really to open up the Zohar. Because without the Ari, it's really hard to see what the Zohar exactly, where it's going, what it's doing. So he says this is V'zel Shalom Nachzor of the Sod Benyamim. So we were talking before about Benyamim, and we were talking about Yosef, that the two tzaddikim that were born out from Rachel, who represents Malchus. So Yosef, we had said, represents the Yisod of Zeranpin. That's the male aspect of the flow, the ultimate flow from up above down below into the female aspect. And where does it go into the female aspect? It goes into the Yisod of female. But that first bia, that first intercourse, sends a certain type of ruach into the Yisod of the Nook, of the female aspect. That's that first bia that does this, between Zer Anpin and Malchus. And a ruach is deposited behind, which is an energy source. That's what the Rav has been saying, and we've been learning here. The energy source becomes the basis of bringing Mayim Nukvin, that is, all the needs of this world upwards. Now let's see the red. Let's go. Let's go back to the Sod of Benyamim. Shechoya b'Sod Yisod in the Keva shall Zer Anpin. Who choya m'orer man shalom. So there he said just what I tried to say better than me. He was the ability to arouse man within her. Now remember, man is the prayers, the Torah from down below, looking upward for help from God. Benyamin, as Aviv Yaakov Misabel, when Benyamin saw his father mourning. Al Yosef, Shuku Bechinas Yisod Zer Anpin. In other words, it's this all spiritual thing he's saying that for the Jewish people to actually be able to accomplish what God has set out for us, we need purity of the Yisod. And here Yaakov saw that the Yisod, the ultimate transmission of all the goodness of Abraham and Yitzchak and himself, was going to be lost, will never spread, because Yosef is gone. Ve'ein shimash b'li bris. So if you don't have a bris, and the covenant is not in the correct position, in other words, it's gemalt, then it doesn't work. So he said, what he said, but Yisod shall zer anpin, where I said, where vein shimish bili bris. There's no possible of mating. But Yosef had tzaddik ne'eved, he becomes lost. Shene'emar atzadik ovid. Now exactly what that pasuk goes, I don't know. Let's see some more. Ba Benyamin. So then came Benyamin. B'shomar es mekomo. He guarded his place. Ba'ala b'sod hazachar b'yisod shel zer anpin, and he goes up into the male secret, into the yisod of zer anpin. B'shamash b'makom achiv, and instead he took over the position of Yaakov, of Yosef. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put this together. Let me read it again. He said, Benyamin. So Benyamin saw that Yosef is lost. He's going to take the position of Yosef. V'shamar es makomo. So the place, I'm not sure what the phrase of Shamras Makomo means, if it means his place or Yosef place. And what he did was he va'alo besod hazachar, and he went up into the secret of the male aspect, the Yesod shel Zer Anpin, into the Yesod of Zer Anpin. This is what he's able to accomplish. The Shamash b'makom achiv b'karach of the badach of al shem achiv, and he worked. He served as a substitute for Yosef, and as a result of that, all of his sons were named after his brother Yosef. V'lechen kasha noida Yosef. So therefore, when Yosef knew Sha'al lo the Benyamim. So remember the meeting between the brothers, and Ishal lo the Benyamim. He asked his to Benyamin, Islacha into Islach benin. Do you have a wife? Do you have children? Veheshi lo Benyamin isli into. I do have a wife. I am married. Isli benin. He have children. Shalo Yosef Amar Shemos Kara Alobanech. So then Yosef said to him, what names did you call your children? He says, Amalek Kach V'Kach Al Shem Achi. He says that this one was named that, this one was named this. They're all named after my brother. Ki Hayisi Shoma B'Makomo, because I was Shoma the bris in his place. So Yavel, like a Yavel, like I became a substitute, the king, in order to bring out the real nature of the bris of my brother. L'chein karasech of Shemam al Shem Achi. So therefore I called their names after the name of my brothers. This is meaning that he's progenerating, or was he's generating, all of the qualities of goodness and purity that the master of the Shmiras of Bris, which is Yosef, who was gone, he took that place. Kamasha Kasav Yakum al Shem Achiv Hameh, so that they should stand in the place. This is this language. He should stand about the Yavam. He says that al Shem Achiv Hameh, so that, by the name of his brother who died. Shechoya Choshev Shemes Achiv V'Yavid B'Makomos, because he considered that his brother was dead. Everybody thought that Yosef was gone. But the fact that the bris needed to remain pure had to come through Benyamin. That's what he saw as his responsibility. Karam al Shem Achiv, and so therefore he called his children, which are the next generation of purity, after the name of his brothers, Kamen Chag Hayivom, like we said, Ad Kan Lashona. So that's really the whole thing we wanted to say, because this is the end of our exploration of Parshas Vayetze in the Zohar Kodesh. There's more to be said, of course, and there are more days, and we'll see as we come around with God's blessing.